Do you know the secrets behind roasting peppers?
I have a feeling I'm going to find out because joining us now with his chef secret, his personal chef, Bill Collins. ChefBill.com is the website. How you doing?
Welcome back,
good.
Chef Bill.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I usually buy my roasted peppers already made in a jar.
And they're expensive.
Well, yes, that's fine. And the thing is about when you get them in the jar, they're perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them until you make your own. And then you go, wow, it's like a taste difference of a magnitude of 1,000,000.
Really? And they're so good in the
That's
jar,
the
too.
thing. They
Really,
I
it
can't even
tastes
imagine.
fine. And the thing is, what I like to say, when you do a side-by-side comparison, you almost get an aftertaste from the jar one because these are so fresh and these are so easy to do. There are about 4 or 5 different methods, ways to do to roasted peppers. I'm going to talk about a couple of them, and then I'll tell you what my favorite one is. One is you can just put them in the oven on a sheet pan, about 400 degrees, turn them over once, it'll take about half an hour. That's one way. Another way, if you have a gas burner, you can put it right on the little crate in the burner, and that's perfectly fine, but that's kind of messy to clean up.
I would think so.
My favorite is under the broiler. And a lot of people don't even use their broilers, and it's such an easy way to do it. What you do is you want to have the rack up at the very top of the oven, and I like to put a piece of aluminum foil at the bottom because the pepper will break, because you put it right on the rack. You don't even need a pan, although you could use it. And what you do is you put it right, so the flame or the element, you could do with an electric broiler, is literally almost touching, but that close to the top of the pepper. And it starts to turn black, and as it turns black, you rotate it. So I've got here, this is one I took out just after the first step. You look at it and say, oh my God, it's charred, it's burned, it's blackened. That's exactly what you want. And as the first one takes, as it starts to get warmed up, takes long. This is about 10 minutes to that side. And then every 5 minutes or so, you just rotate it over until there's no more red on there.
Oh, but now, could it catch fire?
I haven't seen
Should I
that
be
happen.
worried?
I don't know.
Okay.
You
Peppers
shouldn't
can
have
catch
to.
on fire.
'Cause it's
I
not-
don't know.
That's a fair question because a lot of times when you have a steak or something in the oven and you see a little popping of the flame,
Well,
that's
if it's
because
that
the fat.
close to the heat source, you
Well,
never know,
that's a
right?
fair question because oftentimes you've got the fat from those things. There's just no fat involved with the pepper because you
Okay.
don't have to coat it with olive oil or anything, just the pepper.
I'm just safety first, you know what I mean?
I know, exactly. I understand completely. So safety is a good thing. So now, what you do is after you take it out of the oven, you can do one of two things. Either put it in a paper bag and roll it up, not a plastic bag, a paper bag, roll it up, or seal it up. Or what I like to do is just put it in a bowl with plastic wrap over the top. You want to seal it. And so you don't want any of the covers, any of the corners, sides of the bowl undone. Plastic wrap around the whole thing. What's going to happen, you'll see immediately, it's steaming because it's still quite hot. You do it immediately when you take it out of the oven. And what happens in that step is you get the steam from the that's coming off the hot pepper, and it's loosening this charred skin from there. So now, this is the fun part, playing with your food, is this skin, it comes right
this is
off.
Oh, it really does.
It comes right off. Now, there are 2 steps. This is the easiest of the 2 steps, and it comes right off.
This is great.
And it's always fun to play with your
It
food.
smells great.
See, that's the thing. You've
Yeah.
got, and exactly. And I did these ahead of time because you want to have this steam until it cools, maybe 45 minutes. You can have it even sit overnight. But do that. Now, what happens is you've got all these little seeds. Now, here's the part that does take a little bit longer. Is you can pluck the end out if you want, and there might be some seeds attached, or just open it up and just scrape the seeds out. Now, you might be tempted to do this under running water. That's not a terrible thing, but you can rinse actually some of the outer flavor off. So, but believe me, they'll still be spectacular.
And
but,
it's okay if there's a few seeds in there. They're not going to hurt you.
Exactly. They're perfectly safe and to eat. And so now you've got these big pieces of pepper here. And see,
smells
they
so
come right
good.
up. And so now you can cut them into strips. You can put them in your favorite dish. You can put them in a tomato sauce. If you're doing an antipasto, just cut little strips along the way that way, and then just cut them so people just lift and eat them. And speaking of which, if you'd like to try one,
Would I? Of course.
and
Now here's my question. A lot of people, this is the time of year everyone's starting their seeds for their
Sure.
garden. A lot of people are growing a lot of these.
Yes.
Things like tomatoes you can freeze as you go once the season's over. Can you jar these and keep them
Yes.
going
Yes.
for roughly how long do you think?
well, as long they will last as long as anything that you jar. For canning purposes, because you go through the whole sterilizing process and it seals it in, and they'll last just like pickles. Now there isn't a a vinegar brine in there, like a pickle, to help with the preserve. But the way you would ordinarily do your canning and jarring, you can do them this way as well. You can also freeze them, so you can do that. But the thing is, since peppers are available all year round, I mean, if you're doing the supermarket, you mentioned, if you have your own garden, you can get these and do these all year round. If you're in your garden, sure, you want to stack up, and preserve them that way. So
Could you roast green peppers or yellow peppers too, or have you found it doesn't work as well?
Yes, they work perfectly fine. The thing about the red peppers and the orange and the yellow peppers, those are sweeter than the green peppers. Green peppers are the ones always just a little less sweet, give you a little herb that we all get from peppers, like in pepper steak. That's part of the charm. But yes, you can do that for all of them, but these are the sweetness just comes out from the roasting and the heating that way. So with the green peppers, not as sweet, and so you're not going to be as attracting. But one thing you can do is you can do all different colors of them, so you have the balance. You've got the green one, which will give you a bit more of a minor bite to it, and the sweetness of these peppers. You have not only all the different flavors, but it's so colorful with the red, the orange, yellow, and the green.
I can't wait to roast my own peppers, and think of the money you can save too.
Right?
Oh, it's amazing.
What a great way to save money. Do it yourself, freeze them, put them in a jar, and you'll have them for a while.
And if you have a recipe that calls for maybe one, you can just do one pepper. But if you get a jar, you have all those leftovers, and you also knowing it's not going to be as good as if you did it yourself.
That's right, especially now that I've tried this. Thanks so much, Chef Bill, for these chef secrets.
And you can tune in next week for even more chef secrets with Chef Bill. And for a copy of these tips and more, just head to our website, mymassappeal.com, a little bit later today.